My father died. Something inside felt like a piece of me was torn out.
What Matters is a song about the love a son has for his father and the profound sense of loss when his father passes away. Nico Boesten wrote the song after a lifelike dream he had where he encountered his father in a heartfelt way.
I remember just kind of, looking down, I looked up and I just said, okay, now that you know what you know, what do you think of me? And I just remember those words so clearly. It was like, it was so honest and so vulnerable. I was really scared, and at that moment he just sort of ran towards me and we ran towards each other just from that few feet away, and we just, hugged, and we were just bawling our eyes out, and he started saying these things in my ear that he used to say to me in real life, I love you, I'm proud of you, you're a good son. And I remember just waking up right after that, crying, and I'm like, man, this is intense. I haven't felt this sort of, love and affirmation from him in 3 years, but it was really deep. It really hit me hard.
I'm filled with the notion that what matters.
Nico's father was diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago. It was during this time when Nico began to fully understand the ways in which his father touched others.
The nurses, were like, who is this guy? There were people flooding in like all the time, and he would just come in and pray for them and bless them. And it was a pretty amazing time, because literally right up to his last breath, he was still just affirming people, blessing people.
In addition to his spiritual side, he was an intense man who had a strong sense of justice to do what's right.
It was always about what's your purpose as a person. That's the thing that's really important. What are you about, as opposed to what do you do to make money to survive.
It's this legacy of both good and bad which Nico says he wants to carry on.
Apart from it just being a vulnerable song about me and my dad, there is a strong sort of message of legacy and sort of a push to myself, and to other people who hear it to think about what kind of a legacy you're leaving. What are you passing on? What are you doing? Like, who cares what you do for work? What are you giving to people? How are you giving yourself? How are you growing as a person? What are you passing on to your kids? What kinds of things are you doing? So that's what the song is about.
And by having this meaningful impact on people's lives, Nico says it inspires him to keep his father's legacy alive.
When I get an email back saying, I sent this to my dad, and now, he's telling me things he's never told me before in 50 years. That's meaningful. Like, it's actually inspiring relational healing. It's inspiring people to think about how they're living their lives. And that stuff extends. And for me right now, it just carries a lot more weight than just entertaining people. There's some depth there, there's some water in there.